Ladies and gentlemen, fellas, welcome back to the channel and the podcast, the Week 6 NFL Bets. We're going to get into it right now. How y'all doing? Sit back, relax, take your shoes off. Last week, we went 3-2. The week before that, we went 3-2. So 6-4 in the past 2 weeks. It's starting to get really good. I'm going to start to put the overall record like above my head somewhere. Maybe I'll add a little graphic for that for the next show. But Week 6 right now. So I have 4 more spread picks and another teaser for you. I might add something else. If I do, I'll add it on Twitter. I'll put it in the comments down below before the game starts. I might add another line or maybe even a total, but for right now, these are the bets that I have placed. 4 spread picks I will get into in this video, and a teaser. And the teaser so far this year, we placed 3 teasers all in a row. We're going to just do one every single week as long as there's good enough numbers. Now, this week, the numbers are a little bit timid. I don't know if I like them as much, but we do have a teaser in play. It's the one that I do like. Maybe we can find another one, but 4 spread picks, a teaser. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Before we get into it, 2 things from you. Hit the like button for me real quickly. Big old subscribe button pops up. We smashed through 30,000 subscribers. We're reaching a new audience with these sports betting videos, so thank you in advance. If you are brand new here, I thank you for your time. I thank you a ton. I'm going to give you a ton of information, hard-hitting information, big energy only on this channel, so thank you in advance for being here. And this video is sponsored by Monkey Knife Fight. Do you like player props? Do you like betting the over-under, the more or less on players receiving yards, receptions, or just a ton of other types of game props within there for NFL and any sport? Well, Monkey Knife Fight's probably a spot for you. And right now, this could end tomorrow. So depending on when you're watching this, take a second of your time, take advantage of this. Promo code Vetri, my last name, V-E-T-R-I, if you're listening on the podcast and you can't see my last name on YouTube. Get you free money up to $50. They're going to match you free money. You put in $20, they'll give you 20. You want a full $50 for free to play with? You put 50, they give you 50 into your account. So they're going to match you 100% up to $50. So this could end tomorrow. They send me emails on what the promotions are. They send me emails when the promotions are over. It's been going on for a couple weeks now, but by all accounts, this could end tomorrow, could end the next day. So take advantage of it right now. If you know you're going to be playing player props this weekend anyways, or maybe in the next week or two, go ahead and check it out. It's a nice fun way to have a little sweat on the game, and also a little way to get some ROI, return on your investment, some dollar-ooskies, some profit-ooskies as you're in there. So be sure to check that out. Promo code Vetri, V-E-T-R-I, lets them know that you came from me. So let's start it off this show right now. The video on the screen behind me is what you're going to see is just some stuff from Vegas Insider. It's a free website. You're going to see some of where the spread and the money bets are right now. You're going to just see these teams matching up. So what I have for you in the first bet of what this week is going to be 2 teams that are really difficult to find the spread in between, but I think we found the edge of it. Right now, what you have is Carolina versus Chicago. You know that Chicago is maybe one of the most fraudulent 4-1 teams that you could possibly find. And Carolina has been playing very well now. They're up to now 3-2. I believe they won 3 games in a row. Their offense is clicking, but, and this is a big old booty, Carolina right now has only faced 1 defense that is not outside the bottom 10 in the NFL. That 1 defense is the Tampa Bay Bucs, who currently, as of this week, are number 1 overall, according to Pro Football Focus. Well, they lost to that team. The other 4 teams, well, yeah, they beat 3 of those teams, but they're all bottom 8 in the NFL in overall defense. Not many of them have pass rushes. Not many of them have secondaries. So Carolina has been beating up, similar to their defense, not a great defense overall, especially their run defense, has been beating up on bad defenses. And their offense, although I do think it's good, although I do think that they have talent, and Mike Davis filling in right now for Christian McCaffrey, honestly, you're not really missing much of a beat right now by the way that Mike Davis is performing. So don't get me wrong, they have talent there, but they have not really had too much of a test with that talent. This week, they're going to have a test with that talent. Chicago is bottom 10 in the league in terms of yards per play allowed. That's somewhere where Carolina has been thriving against these bad defenses. They were top 5 in that category, but Chicago is going to be limiting those things. Right now, if you're going to be looking at it from the opposite side of this, Chicago is borderline top 5 in pass rush and run defense and coverage and all these different metrics right now. Even with Jalen Johnson, a rookie cornerback out there in their secondary, they're still holding down their secondary to this point. So those are all things that really outside of Tampa Bay and even Chicago's secondary, even Chicago's pass rush is going to be better than Tampa Bay's. They couldn't really handle that with Tampa Bay. I don't know if they're going to be handling it right now with Chicago. The only positive thing is that Chicago on offense only averages number 26 in the NFL in yards per attempt. Their offense, we already know, is not that good. But there's one little thing that we've been seeing over the past 2 weeks, and in a major way in that last game that probably helped them wrap up a victory against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is that since Tariq Cohen went down, everybody's saying who's going to be the replacement? Well, they signed Devonta Freeman. That was a couple weeks back before he signs with the Giants. Well, will they activate Artavius Pierce, which they now have him on their practice squad active roster sometimes? But no, it's just David Montgomery became a pass-catching running back. Back-to-back games with 5+ targets. And in that last game, he caught 7 passes. If he's going to be a little bit game flow independent, that's going to help them a ton. Now, Carolina ranks dead last in the NFL now in the run defense department, so an advantage for David Montgomery. But if Montgomery can also come out of the backfield, that's very good to see. Look, I know 100% I believe that this Chicago team is fraudulent. They've had 2 crazy come-from-behind victories that were improbable, both against the Lions with Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles coming in and leading it back against an Atlanta team. I don't think that they should have had those wins. I don't think that they should have won won a game where they were down 13-0 on Thursday Night Football against Tom Brady and the Bucs. I think they're a very fraudulent 4-1 team. But I also think, although Carolina has good talent, that they're a little bit fraudulent as well, as they have faced just absolutely dog shit defenses to this point. So what this is a bet on for me is that the Chicago Bears defense is good enough to hold this Carolina Panthers offense below a couple of touchdowns, right? Instead of having 3 touchdowns, hold them to about 14, 17 points. And now you can see right here the line movement that has been happening. You can see it on both screens. This is fantasy right now, Fantasy Labs NFL dashboard. You can see that the line opened right here in this where I'm scrolling if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're not watching on YouTube, I could just verbalize it, but the line opened at plus 2.5 is what you had as the Chicago as an underdog. Now it's at +1. We got this bet luckily at plus 2.5. I didn't know which way the line would move. A lot of people right now have been betting on the Chicago Bears. So instead of being 2.5 point favorites right now, Carolina is only down to basically almost close to a pick'em, a 1 point favorite. So it's been a 1.5 overall line movement. And that's a lot of that is because of the overall money that's coming in on Chicago. 84% of the money coming in on Chicago, with the percentage of spread bets as well at 53%. So it seems like all the sharps and the public for the most part are on Chicago. Everybody's on Chicago in this one. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you can still find the plus 2.5 out there. At the +1, I still think they're going to win this game, but I'd rather have those extra couple of points, of course. The second game we will be talking about right now is going to be Houston versus Tennessee. And we were just on, if you watched on my second channel, Big Energy Sports, I urge you to check it out. I'll link it up down below. It's going to be a sports betting primarily focused channel over there. We just actually had Tennessee as our +3 overall favorites, that we were taking them +3.5 against the Buffalo Bills. We had them to win outright as well, and we had them overall in that game looking very, very good because, look, they came out and they said that they had a lot of adversity, yada, yada, whatever it was. They were at home. They were an undefeated team coming off of a week and a half of rest. Now they face another division foe in Houston. The Houston Texans are 1-4, and at this point, they've lost 4 in a row, and obviously the undefeated 4 in a row wins for Tennessee has them at 4-0. So I'm at Houston at this one at +3.5. It's moved in a lot of spots to +3. You can see you'll still find some +3.5s out there as I look over some of the odds checker pages, which is just a big page that shows you a bunch of different casinos and what they're offering in terms of the props and overall lines and vig and all that type of stuff. Right now, this Houston team at 1-4, they really shouldn't be 1-4. I mean, they're better than that. Maybe it's a little bit of Bill O'Brien syndrome in there. Maybe it's a little bit of the defense as well, the secondary just being absolutely atrocious, but they're number 4 in yards per play on offense. That is a huge metric in terms of Vegas and what they look for. Seattle, Green Bay. Green Bay is number 1 in that department. Obviously, they look like one of the best teams in the league. Seattle's up there in that department as well. They look like one of the best teams in the league. Houston's up there in the top 4, and they don't look anywhere near one of the best teams in the league as of right now. Now, Tennessee allows the 6th most yards per play. So, okay, we're getting a nice little combination here of 2 crazy good Vegas numbers. Some of the stuff that some of the sharps look at a ton and weigh very significantly. If one team who's in the top 5 at a metric that is bonus for their offense and their chances of winning, and another team that's in the negative in terms of the bottom 10 in terms of that makes them not have that great of a chance of winning in terms of defense. So that's starting to look very good. Houston allows only the 14th most yards per play allowed, and Tennessee is only generating the 24th most yards per play. So now you have on the opposite side of that one, the defense in Houston in this matchup is going to be having, in a small sample of 4 games of Tennessee, 5 games of Houston, going to be having a positive advantage on defense as well in terms of yards per play efficiency. And we could summarize most of that by saying that Houston is number 9 in overall offense this year, and Tennessee is number 19 in total defense. Now, Houston's wide receivers, huge advantage. It was very nice to see Brandon Cooks, who's been getting a ton of usage in terms of routes run and snaps, just not bringing in much of his targets and not really having much targets his way. Last week, all of that changed. Will Fuller continues to have a great season, and Brandon Cooks popped off a little bit. Brandon Cobb is not living up to his contract, $27 million that he ended up getting, most of which was guaranteed, I believe $19 million, but he's still a solid wide receiver 3 to have in the slot in your 3 wide receiver sets at this point. Their tight ends, Darren Fells and Atkins, if Atkins is able to return from, I believe, a concussion. This offense is loaded, and it looks like it matches up very nice against Tennessee, and all the efficiency metrics are saying that. Tennessee, just number 25 in pressure. Houston pass blocking, after 2 first really bad weeks, it is now up to number 10 overall in pass blocking efficiency grades from Pro Football Focus. So you're getting an offense here that has an advantage against this defense. You're getting a defense that has an advantage over this offense, and all it really comes down to at this point is not making mistakes to Deshaun Watson versus Ryan Tannehill, and I'm going to be leaning in this one on Deshaun Watson to at least cover the spread. We get the hook on it, +3.5. Houston versus Tennessee. We're on the Houston side of this one. Next up, and I should also point out that there's 9 1 o'clock games this week on Sunday and just 2 afternoon games, one of which is Adam Gase's former Miami Dolphins versus now New York Jets. So it's really not that many games. I wish they would have put like 1 or 2 more in the afternoon. But anyways, lots of games to be betting at the 1 o'clock window, maybe some live bet action. What you get is a very nice matchup. This division looks great with Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. I don't really think that Pittsburgh's fraudulent. Their defense definitely isn't. Their offense is good enough, especially if they can get something out of Chase Claypool now, and if Deontay Johnson can stay healthy, it looks really good. In Cleveland, there's no doubt about it. Both sides of the ball, defensive line, offensive line, running game, run blocking, pass blocking, everything looks good in terms of that. If Baker is just okay, which he's been more than okay this season, this team looks legit. And now you get a matchup here where it's coming in as of right now. The current spread is that it's going to be Pittsburgh -4. We were lucky enough to get this number before it moved to -4. We got it at Pittsburgh -3.5. And let me tell you why I'm on the Pittsburgh Steelers side of this one against their division foe, the Cleveland Browns. So Pittsburgh is number 4 in yards per play allowed this year. So they're top 5 in defense in terms of efficiency metrics, just stopping your offense in its tracks from both a running and passing game perspective. They're number 23 though in yards per play on offense. So they're not that great on offense when it comes to an efficiency metric. They usually just run a lot of plays. And honestly, they've beat up on some really piss poor teams like the New York Giants, for example. Now, Cleveland is number 15 in yards per play allowed, and they're number 13 in yards per play on offense. So they're pretty much average in terms of having an efficient offense and an efficient defense right now overall when you factor in all parts of the game. But up front in the trenches, both on the offensive and defensive line, they're the number one run blocking unit right now and the number one pass blocking unit right now. That offensive line is absolutely deadly. It looks extremely, extremely good. Cleveland has scored 30 plus points in 4 straight games. They did it for the first time 30 plus in 3 straight when they faced and beat Dallas. That was the first time in many, many moons. Now they've done it in 4 straight after putting up, I believe, 40 plus now in back-to-back games against the Indianapolis Colts. So this is looking like a very good team in Cleveland. I mean, you're not putting up that many points, especially against what looked like a good defense in the Colts, and it's just a fluke. This Browns team, in my opinion, is good. Now, Cleveland has been getting a lot of it down on the ground, which right now they're the number 1 running team in the NFL, and they're only number 25 in passing. They just really haven't needed it all that much, but Baker, he's been fine, but overall efficiency metrics are just not up there, and they're not up to league averages right now. Pittsburgh, number 5 in total defense. Pittsburgh, number 1 in pressure, top 5 in run defense, top 5 right now, borderline top 5 in coverage. This is a strong defense against a Cleveland team that has a very strong offensive line and kind of hold off that defense to an extent. Now, we saw the other Pennsylvania team in Philadelphia coming in here last week, and yeah, the running back had a good game of Miles Sanders. 2 touchdowns, had, I believe, like 100 yards, but he had 75 of those, 74 to be exact, yards on 1 carry. So it was just one blimp in the radar. He ended up getting to the outside, and he was gone. It was a broken coverage for the most part. He got to the second level, and there's nobody there for him. So I don't think that's going to happen in this game. I do think Kareem Hunt will be massively involved like we saw in the last game, just 20 carries alone on the ground. Not even factoring in the passing game work, but these linebackers, these ends right now for Pittsburgh are just going to be too good in my opinion. I think that Pittsburgh minus 3.5 is a nice spot to be on. Minus 4, you start getting into a range if it's plus 4, plus 4.5 that I probably lean the Browns side of this. I do think it's going to be close to a field goal game. The way that Pittsburgh's front is going to battle the Cleveland offensive line is really where this game is going to be won. So it comes down to my belief that Pittsburgh can at least limit the run of Kareem Hunt. Again, still no Nick Chubb back there. Definitely limit the run of Dearness Johnson, who maybe sees like 6 overall carries on the ground, somewhere in that range, and that their offense is going to be better in the passing department than the Cleveland Browns if you take away their number 1 asset, which is their running game. So go ahead and give me Pittsburgh right now at minus 3.5. So 3 games in to recap so far through, we have right now Chicago plus 2.5 points against the Carolina Panthers, Houston plus 3.5 points versus the Tennessee Titans in their division, and then we have Pittsburgh minus 3.5, the first favorite that we have taken against the Cleveland Browns. My 4th and final line pick before we get into the teaser. And before we do it, hit the like button for me again. Big ol' subscribe button pops up. I really do appreciate that a ton. Check out Monkey Knife Fight. If you plan to use player props, I'm telling you right now, love Monkey Knife Fight. Been partnering them up with almost a year now. Check them out. It's linked down below. The promo code is Vetri, VETRI. They will give you free money up to $50 in player props. This offer can end literally in like 5 hours, and I don't know. They send me emails randomly when offers start and begin, so be sure to take advantage of it, because if you reach out to me in a week and you're like, hey, I want that offer now, I'll be like, I'm sorry, it might not be here now. And now what's shaping up to be the game of the week, you have the Miami Dolphins versus, I'm just kidding, you have right now the 4 o'clock game, the Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rodgers versus Brady, 3-2 Buccaneers, undefeated Green Bay Packers, 2 teams that look very good. Brady forgetting that he was in 4th down in the 4th quarter with the 4 fingers up, the memes going around, all that type of stuff. Probably should have won that game, not even getting down to that point, up 13-0 on Thursday Night Football. But what are you going to do? I have this side of this game, and it's going to be very difficult to really want to pick a side of this game. This is going to be probably the most bet on game of the entire week, not counting the primetime Sunday, Monday Night Football games. And if we go over right now to Fantasy Labs, you can see the Packers and Bucks logo on the screen. You can see that this game opened in a lot of spots right now at minus 1.5, minus 2.5 for the Packers on some spots. It's down in a lot of spots to just minus 1. This game is basically a pick 'em at this point. The Packers minus 1, obviously on the opposite side of that one, it means the Bucks plus 1 in this one. So which side of this am I going to be on right now? You can see that 92% of the money the last time this updated and 91% of the spread picks are on the Green Bay Packers at this point. So basically you can see the Packers went from a 2.5 point favorite to a 1 point favorite, which normally will tell you that a lot of people are betting on the Tampa Bay Bucks in that situation to draw it down. And obviously that's happening, but it might not be a lot of people betting on them. It just might be some influential people or influential groups betting on them, because apparently to Vegas Insider, maybe this isn't updated, 91% of the spread picks are right now on the Packers, 92% of the money is on the Packers. So if that were actually the case, more times than not, you would think that the Packers number would go to minus 3.5, minus 4.5 to make it less appealing to actually take that side of it and more appealing to take the Tampa Bay side. So 1, maybe Vegas Insider isn't updated here, or 2, it could be some very big head honchos going in there and saying, okay, only 8% of the money right now is on Tampa Bay, and obviously they don't have all of these tickets in their database, they're just kind of projecting most of it, and projections can be wrong, but maybe it is 8% of the money that's actually on Tampa Bay right now, or at least that we're seeing on the latest update of Vegas Insider. It could be some head honchos, it could be some very strong, sharp bettors, and they're saying, you know what, If these guys are on this side of it, we don't want to be on the same side of these guys. We'll be on the same side of the rest of the public and some of the other sharps out there. So, but the money right now is indeed moving in the favor of Green Bay if you wanted to take that side of it. So we waited on this game a little bit. It opened at 2.5 in a lot of spots, 1.5 in some spots. It's now to -1. So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to take the -1 on this one. I took this right before the show started of the Green Bay Packers -1. And this should be a great game. Honestly, this should probably be the best game of the entire week. So right now, Green Bay is number 1 in yards per play. So obviously a fantastic metric. Vegas loves that. But Tampa Bay is number 3 in yards per play allowed in terms of they allowed the 3rd fewest yards per play efficiency. So you're just going to have offense battling defense in this one. Tampa Bay is currently the number 1 overall defense versus Green Bay, number 2 overall offense right now, only behind Seattle. Tampa Bay on offense just 21st overall in yards per play, so bottom 3rd of the league, but the Packers 20th in yards per play around, bottom 3rd of the league. So when the Packers are on offense, it's going to be heavy hitters on offense versus heavy hitters on defense. When Tampa Bay's on offense, it's going to be meh on offense versus meh on defense for the most part. So they kind of balance out really nicely. If Chris Godwin is in, that's obviously a huge advantage right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But one player that's going to be out that is going to be a huge advantage for the Green Bay Packers in this game. On offense, the Packers, Aaron Jones is a huge part of their offense. Getting Davante Adams back means he doesn't have to be as involved in the passing game. Same things for RB2 on that team, Jamal Williams, who had almost 100 yards the last time that this team played without Davante Adams on primetime game Monday Night Football. Adams comes back, takes a little bit of the pressure off of the running backs to catch a lot of passes. I think they'll still be involved there, but the running game against Tampa Bay, it doesn't set up that nicely. Tampa Bay's run defense is insane, but Vita Vea is going to be out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's not playing in this game. He's going to be out for some time. So with Vita Vea actually going to be out in this one, that's the middle of the field. That's like 2 players being out on your defensive line. That's how good that this guy is. He's arguably the best defensive lineman from the run stop in the entire NFL right now. That's a huge advantage for Aaron Jones, who likes to run in between the tackles, who doesn't go off tackle all that much to the outside. So that gives me actually a good amount more confidence. Now, normally one player, especially on defense, shouldn't change your mind all that much. But if this game is going to be very close and what the Packers do on offense, both in the passing game and running game, is just as important to each other and they complement each other for Aaron Rodgers, that's going to be important from a difference of only getting 2.5 yards per carry to getting now 3-4 yards per carry, if that's going to be that difference. And I do think Vita Vea does provide a lot of that difference in the middle of the offensive and defensive line. Also, you have the Packers coming back and getting Adams back, who apparently was healthy like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago before the bye week, and now he's definitely going to be healthy. He'll go up probably against Carlton Davis. Adams moves all around the field, so goes into the slot, mainly on the outside, though on the left. He'll face Carlton Davis, which is a fine matchup for Adams. Now, Jamal Dean has been very good for the Tampa Bay Bucs in their secondary. He'll probably see a lot of MVS since Allen Lazard is not expected back yet with his core muscle injury that he had surgery on. So that might be a little bit of a shutdown situation, maybe not fully shut down, but the Packers still take their shots. Aaron Rodgers is still currently, even with a bye week, number 1 in the NFL in deep attempts per game right now. So he doesn't give a shit right now, Aaron Rodgers. He's just loading up and chucking that ball downfield. We're taking the Packers -1 here, but this really is a pick'em. I'm happy to see the line move closer in the market. This is what I thought at the beginning of the week. At +2.5, I thought, this one honestly is just flipping a coin at this point. Once I saw Vita Vea was out, it gave me a little bit more confidence in the Packers to establish some of their running game to open up the play action passing and the efficiency of Aaron Rodgers on offense. So those are our 4 spread picks, and right now we're to our teaser where we're 3-0 on the season in the teaser. So we're running the luck right now, knock on wood. What we're doing in the teaser is we're going to take Baltimore from -7 to -1 versus Philly. They basically just have to beat Philly and not tie Philly. And then we're going to take New England, who is as of right now -9.5 opening against Denver. We're expecting Drew Lock and Cam Newton to play, more so Cam Newton than Drew Lock. Cam Newton now 3 weeks removed from being on the COVID list by the time this game kicks off. I've said this before, you want to go through as many key numbers as you can. Those key numbers in the NFL, the 4 biggest key numbers in the NFL are 7, 6, 4, and 3. If you can get those through those 4 numbers on a teaser, you do it. But don't go out there on a 6-point teaser, that is, right? A 2-team 6-point teaser. You can watch my sports betting video, a general video that I have on this channel if you want more information on that. But again, 7, 6, 3, and 4 are the 4 numbers that you want to try and get to, the key numbers that most NFL games land on the most. If you can get through all those, that's key. Now, obviously, I'd love to get this number down to 1 more times than not, like we did with Baltimore and like we've done every single week so far, but I don't want to buy more points than just the 6. So we take the 9.5 right now down to 3.5. Unfortunately, we can't get through that 3 number. We got through 7, 6, and 4. So all we have to have right now is for this team to win by at least 4 points, and we hit the teaser. It doesn't feel as good as some of the other ones in the past, but not a lot of these numbers. I think Vegas is trying to get a little bit of a week back under them because most of these 7-point favorites have been winning the last couple of weeks, and a lot of teasers have been absolutely smashing. So that's where I'm going to go right now with our teaser. Baltimore, we're going to tease them down from 7 to -1. New England, we're going to tease them down from -9.5 to -3.5, and we're going to get through 3 of those 4 key numbers against Denver, and maybe Drew Lock comes back. So at this point, that's where we're at with the teaser. So to recap, our 4 spread picks: Chicago +2.5 versus the Carolina Panthers, Houston +3.5 versus the Tennessee Titans, Green Bay -1 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Pittsburgh -3.5 versus Cleveland, and our teasers, we're teasing Baltimore down to -1 and New England down to -3.5. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate you all being here a ton. Be sure to check out the exclusive offer that is limited time only, probably on Monkey Knife Fight, link down below. Promo code Vetri, VETRI lets them know you came from me. Like and subscribe before you go. Check out all the other content on here. And if you're watching this video right now and you're still here, my second vlog just went up, so be sure to check out both of those. Going to be starting to do some weekly, maybe multi-weekly vlogs right now. So I appreciate you all being here in advance. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Best of luck this week. Good luck. Good luck.